right, we call to order the meeting of the Historic District Commission. Can I get a motion to adopt the motion to adopt? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Approval of the minutes from last month. Any
I'll
additions?
make
or
a
corrections?
motion to approve the minutes. I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. And, all right. First case, 10 South Main Street. Is that you, Ida?
That's me.
Come on up. And for the record, just tell us, I guess, the address.
Sure. Ivy Wells, Director of Economic and Community Development, Director for the Town of Berlin, the Main Street Program, and the Arts and Entertainment District. Representing our Arts and Entertainment Advisory Board, requesting permission, and of course, the owner of the building, Mike Poole, at 10 South Main Street, requesting permission to have a mural painted on the side of his building. I have just a little something I'd like to read, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Because Berlin is a designated arts and entertainment district, art isn't just an add-on here. It's part of what makes our downtown thrive. Public art like murals brings that designation to life in a way everyone can see and feel. When we hire local artists like Evan Fitzgerald, we're not only showcasing authentic Eastern Shore talent, we're also investing right back into our community. Art gives people a reason to come downtown, to take photos, and to discover our shops and restaurants. It reinforces that Berlin is creative, vibrant, and very much alive. Mike Poole, who owns the building, wanted a design that really stood out, something that captured our Eastern Shore roots while also tying in live music. He's from a musical family. His sons are, I'm sure you know, his sons are. Instead of going with another typical historic scene, we wanted something eye-catching, different, and fresh. Local artist Evan Fitzgerald is the same talent behind the murals inside of 410 Social, was a perfect choice for the job. This mural has a sense of story and personality. It connects our musical spirit with the beauty of the shore, with a quirky, unexpected vibe Berlin is known for. It's bold, eye-catching, and it's not something you'd see just anywhere, and that's exactly the point.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
Which wall is this going on? Does it face the other mural? Or is
No,
on
it
the other
faces
side?
Unabella.
Okay.
Town. Facing
Correct.
the town.
Okay.
Correct. Mhm.
Ivy, can you just talk about the elements of the mural? To me, and I have no art background at all,
Mhm.
they're out of proportion. I mean, like the heron looks huge compared to the woman, but then the woman
Mhm.
looks huge, and so can you?
Right, it's just a matter of perspective. Art is subjective, obviously, and this is how the artist sees it from his perspective. It's just, you know, maybe the heron is closer. I don't know, I'm not the artist, but it definitely speaks to you. It's definitely eye-catching. It's nothing like we've ever seen before downtown, which is exactly what we're looking for. We're not looking for the same old type of mural that you see everywhere else. This is, it's quite spectacular. And I posted it up on Facebook just to see what the reaction would be. And I think I don't know how many people commented or liked, and just our local people. I think more than 80 people loved or liked it and very much in favor of the mural design.
Will it be on wood or something that would be removed like the other one?
No, it's because it's just cinder block, so it's going to be painted directly on the cinder block. Just
The
like,
other one couldn't be painted on cinder block. Is it?
no, similar to the Reverend Tinley mural, that was painted directly on the cinder block, so this will as well. Because it's not a historic building.
I have a comment as well, if anybody knows, real quick,
Go ahead.
regarding, I do have an art background, Corcoran Gallery of Art, National Gallery of Art. I was an art teacher at an elementary school level, so I'm very familiar with fine art, creative art. It can be a card to me and just catch my eye and be absolutely wonderful, and I'll frame it. What's grabbed my eye, and I'm very conscious of how the eye travels. when you see something. And the young girl, and it's very mystical, and then you see the crab. What catches my eye is exactly what you said. Is it a blue heron? It almost looks, where everything is so real and alive, it's almost like somebody just put it there. It somehow, everything else is flowing, but I wondered if the artist might have some comments, if we could ask. Is he here?
No, he's, I didn't see him here.
Okay. So, to me, with my artistic, or my art eye, with my background, what I see first is a blue heron.
Mhm.
And it's like he looks like something you buy in a garden center on her shoe. Now, I know what Salvador Dali, how he painted, and I know what that kind of creativity is. I love the idea. I think the colors, the flow, the whole feel of the shore is there. But what really I would love to ask him,
Mhm.
or if you might,
Sure.
how he feels about the blue, is it a blue heron? I know, Nordy, you know the birds better than I do. But
It's a great blue heron.
Yeah.
great blue heron. So almost in my mind's eye, isn't a deer? Is it the tail that big?
It's a fox.
Yeah.
A fox with horns on it, so that's the creativity, the Salvador Dali kind of, okay, that's it. So it does make you think and question, and that's what you like art to do, and particularly contemporary art to do as well. But there's such a flow that I really would like to ask him,
If I'm looking at it closely, it looks like the heron has landed on, it is on her and listening to the music.
Oh, is it, so that was what his perception.
That's what I see.
It's a garden center heron that
Right.
just happened to be, and she's sitting by it.
Right, so the heron is actually standing on her ankle.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if the point is you go right to the center of the painting, the artwork, you see her, the guitar, which is, obviously we talked about the music and the whole flow of the bay and the water and the light, and we have those magnificent sunsets here, you know, if that's more of an, well, I don't know.
Well, the use of light is pretty incredible in this, I think.
Well, and I know that this is a photographic reproduction, and that's nowhere near of knowing how it's going to look when it's up there on
And
the wall.
if you've gone into 410 Social, I encourage you to go into
I've never
410
been in
Social.
there. No.
And
I've
look-
heard it so loud, so I just don't go in.
So if you
Really? He painted a mural in there, so I could
The
go.
murals in 410 Social look like they're photographs, but they're actually murals. And
Okay.
he's an award-winning artist.
Well, my daughter has bought some of his art. I know his father, so I mean, I know exactly that the background, but I'm just looking this objectively to be on the wall. If you're coming down the street and look, and it will catch your eye, and the creativity is there. It's just, I'm saying from my perspective, that's, well, I'm not buying it, so just, no, that's not the issue. It's not for sale. It's not like I'm at an art auction or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's fine. If everyone else is fine with it, just from a creative eye viewpoint, it's rather odd like that.
Well, we've been down this road before with paintings and this, that, and the other that really don't fit in the historic district. And I know the building is not historic. Once it's done, I'm sure it will be beautiful. But I'm not going to say no, I don't think, because I respect Mr. Poole. He's a great person with the community. But it really shouldn't be. And I'm sorry, that's just me. I just.
Well, Carol, I know what you're saying, because when I first thought of that and looked at it, I thought, well, in a way I was thinking, when you think of it, historic Berlin, would it have been sort of a scene like this, but you had the feeling it was of another era. And that's why I think that heron to me looks like a garden statuary you would see at the Home Depot or someplace that you put in your yard, or something would. And it sort of took away from me. It broke up the serene, the beauty of the bay and the whole thing. And I think the girl, and I love her, whatever her hairpiece is, that it's very creative, he's very gifted. But as I said, I thought, I don't know a lot about hunting, but boy, that's a big tail on that deer or whatever it is. Then I realized it's supposed to be a fox morphed into that. So I think, it's like Carol, I wish he could be here, or put some, I don't hate to sit there and just comment about someone when they can give some really good answers why they created it that way or what their perception was. But like Carol, in the Historic District, we love to see some reference to that, and I don't. So
I think
Well,
that,
we
is there a
work really
write-up,
hard.
and I think there's a little bit of a write-up that he gave with some of the photos.
In the packet.
And
Well, I mean, we work really hard with the, like, across Farley's Pharmacy, bringing back all the old on the brick, that vibe, which this just doesn't have.
Well, local animals, I've never seen an animal. If it's local like that, that would be on television or something. The 6 o'clock news, the deer and the fox all morphed into one. Well, it says local in a familiar to short setting, I don't know.
I like the painting. I love his artwork. I love what's in 410. Do I think it's a good mesh with historic? No. However, the building is not historic.
None of them.
It's not, it's something that can be painted over down the road. And I don't see anybody opposing it, and I have a hard time with that. You know,
I'm sorry, could
I
you-
have a hard time with no one, if it's been out there publicly and nobody is opposing it. I mean,
the community loves the design.
I just think, you know,
Well, that's
Carol
an
has,
issue.
I think the strongest point is Carol's, with the paintings on the old buildings and the vibe we're going for.
Well, that's the whole thing I'm saying. I know what Salvador Dali is, I know what contemporary art is, I know I'm not criticizing
I mean,
what it is, but
I
I'm
actually,
saying
I like this
historically
better than that other
speaking.
mural that's on the side of the Welcome Center. I think it's more artistic, and more tasteful.
Well,
honestly, but
if we approve this and someone wants to put something similar, like right downtown, what do we
no, I would say no. because-
No, yeah, I think it's a difference in the historic building aspect. If we're saying this building, we're talking about cinder blocks, we're not talking about bricks.
But it's a
Can you show a picture of what it looks like now?
Yeah,
So, right, it looks like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
yeah.
it's a very unattractive 50s looking cinder block. Who was that? I remember who that realtor was, and there's still a lot of that stuff. It's very unattractive, and it's certainly an improvement over what it is, but for us to sit here as a Historic District Commission members, which are charged with keeping this historic still alive, and I don't expect to see scooters coming up the bay, particularly or anything like that. That wasn't where I'm going. I just was looking at, I love the whole marsh scene, all of that I would find absolutely very pleasing to the eye. You're coming in town, you're coming one of the first things coming down South Main Street you would see. And, you know, so that's just my personal opinion. I mean, everyone
I
else
thought it was
has
on the
theirs.
other side, and I was happy with that, because then that's where, you know, once a month they have the little market where the artisans and
The second Sundays.
yeah.
But this, when you're walking down, it draws your attention as you're standing in front of the Atlantic Hotel, and you look down and you see that, it makes you want to venture down further, instead of seeing something, you know, previous, the way it looks now.
But-
It's
but
not, it's not very inviting, and that is just.
Oh, I like the painting, but is it like making, at the same time, if you're standing in front of the historic Atlantic Hotel
Mhm.
and you're looking down the street at this, it does, that's what I don't like about it, that it does,
We carry on so about paint colors and the hot pink on the bank and all that stuff. It took your eye away again. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying the reasons you had to come in front of us is because we're the Historic District Commission. And our charge is to keep this a part of what makes this town so unusual than any other town on the shore. That
Well, that's
thriving
definitely
so well.
unusual.
So it is, but as I said, yeah, and I really, the whole thing is, you know, I guess we're not here to critique his artistic
No,
ability, and
it's
I'm not. I
beautiful
just said I
painting.
wish he were here, and I do think that that bird really is sort of distracting, but there you go. I'm just torn right now how I feel exactly about where we go. We always yield and bend, as I would say, as a commission, as long as Carol and I have been on here, which is a long time. At times, I think we've almost yielded and bended too much, rather than where we should have stayed, so that's sort of my soliloquy there.
Now, I'm keeping in mind this, that we're talking about a block building, a cinder block building, a building that can be painted back.
Oh, I know all that, Norrie, and it's in the historic district, that's the only thing I'm saying. We sit here not because we're sitting here because we represent what our charge was to do to keep this going, and so I'm saying there's absolutely nothing historic looking about it. We're in the historic district, not that I expect to see stagecoaches or whatever, we want to take it off to that crazy thing, but I just feel.
And I always worry about what is it gonna look like in the future. And like the yellow brick road that's over there on the other one is already starting to flake off.
Oh, on the ground, on the asphalt? Yeah, that was a temporary. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It lasted a lot longer than we thought.
Oh, okay. Like I was just, to myself, that's why I thought, you know.
What? Because you beat it to death.
So, yeah, we beat it to death.
Well, we can entertain a motion, we can table, we can, if you,
You know, I'd kind of like to see what the people in town think.
If you pull up my Facebook page and have it public, you can see what everybody said about it. I can read you some things that people
Was there
said.
any negative?
There was no negative.
Well, you know, the other part of that is that we never were told in the historic district that we had to take in consideration. It was, we were given very specific guidelines, and that whole big book that we had to read and be, and every one said in there, I never, did you see anything that said we had to take into consideration
No.
what the, if it is, I stand corrected. But again, I go back on what the charge was originally, what is the responsibility to do?
Yeah.
And the deer with the.
So I posted
fox
it
tail.
up here, and I posted the same, what I read out loud, I also posted that here. And it has 89 reactions, all positive, 17 comments, even from, let's see, Rena from the Ocean City Art League
But
is
she
in
doesn't
favor.
live here and she doesn't have a business. Go ahead.
And she's from New York.
Do you, I mean, many of the business owners, Jenny Shepherd, Rena, Austin Purnell, Tony Weed.
Well, that's well and good, but I just never saw any part of that in our charge on the historic district.
It's not, it's not. in
Okay,
the
I probably
charge.
shouldn't have brought that up.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not,
it's okay,
that's why
but
we're
it's
all
not.
here, because we all have separate, coming from different visual points and different experiences, this, and how we react to it. And we're, you know, different ages, different people, and different experiences. So, as I said, Evan, I believe it's Evan, isn't that Fitzgerald's? Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, my daughter originally, when he started out, bought a very nice, expensive piece of this art. I'm not criticizing at all any of that. I'm just saying it's sort of rather very contemporary, exactly, as I keep going back to Salvador Dali, if any of you know that it's just sort of, I would love to see it really reflect the beauty of the marsh, and I think people would love that just as much, or the sunset, or something that we have that gorgeous, this time of year, red hue sunset, and the sky, and that to me would be just sort of a beautiful catching your eye, and he's capable of doing just like Alistair does and what his father does, but, and I don't mean that dark, but he's capable of doing anything, so I would, if.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. To
He's gifted enough
give
in art.
him that suggestion. That would,
Keep it, just, I mean, the crabs
It
are
would
fine,
take all that.
the girl, you know, is
All right,
lovely, and
is
they're
the
behind
painting
us, something
paintable?
beautiful that was just this
Okay.
beautiful, where your eye just travels and goes, wow.
So if you have suggestions, I will definitely
Well,
take
that would
them
be
back.
my, you know.
So if
say
you
that.
can give me some suggestions, I'd be happy to take them back to the artist. I'm sure that, I mean, he's very easy to work with. I'm sure that.
He's my neighbor. So
Okay.
it's not anything across the street, so, and I don't have, you know, any problem.
sir, do you
with that.
have any suggestions?
So I would
It-
prefer some
it-
actual suggestions would be great.
She could take them back to him,
Right.
and then I guess we'd come back at the next meeting
Or if I could submit something.
beforehand. Okay.
but
Maybe a
it
video.
it needs to be not quite so contemporary.
Well, I'd say my first, because I'm the most opinionated here and outspoken, I guess, this evening on this subject, is my thought would be, it is a perfect venue for that beautiful Eastern Shore sunset, or whatever you'd like to be, sun up, sunset, or the sky. There's nothing like the sky here. The sky, the marsh, the birds, whatever. I certainly don't object to the artist playing her guitar and her hair. There's that, all of that It's just my biggest objection would be in there, the deer that has the foxtail, I guess, is it a deer or a buck?
Well, that's his style, so.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, would you ask what do I'm looking at? What I think is more appropriate, or what would be more within the historic district, whatever we've got a little bit of everything here. My personal opinion is I would like to see a beautiful marsh scene, and certainly the crabs, when he mentions in here, local animals in a familiar Eastern Shore setting. So I don't object to his background, I don't object to anything, but I'd rather see be a beautiful, familiar Eastern Shore setting, and he can certainly have the contemporariness of the crab and the seagulls and the whole thing. But the two things that just jump out and grab you and say, wow, this is really weird, is the heron and the fox slash.
I think that weird is part of the allure.
Well,
Well,
when
we're not
historic
talking
isn't
about
weird, we don't aim for weird
No,
in
we
historic
don't
district.
aim
That's the
weird.
totally opposite of what we're looking for. And this isn't, when we get, I hope, we talked about having an art area that would go back there by Pops and that whole street. Now, I would have no problem whatsoever with anything contemporary,
So-
anything of the moment or historic, but this, no.
So marsh scene, not the current marsh scene.
No, if, I would leave that up to him. I'm just giving you my personal spin on that. I don't object at all to the marsh. I don't object to the creativity of the young woman with her guitar, which makes it a focus. You come in and see her, and then immediately you say, oh, what's that? What's this? So that's my opinion, you know. I just get rid of the fox that's a cross between a
Fox
a
here.
buck and a fox, a buck with a fox tail, I guess that's what it is. And the blue heron that doesn't look like a blue heron particularly, it looks like a metal blue heron you find in a gift shop or
So
something.
delete the fox and the blue heron.
Yeah, or put them in a more natural setting that would look like it's part of Eastern Shore as he's describing it, a familiar. I don't think anybody in Eastern Shore is ever familiar seeing a couple of things, so.
How about if you did away with the fox deer and removed the blue heron where the fox is?
Or make the blue heron look like it's a real blue
I mean,
heron.
I love the blue heron. I get the concept of the blue heron landing on a foot, listening to music, that's kind of,
Well, he becomes the whole focus, so the focus is supposed to be the woman with the guitar. This is about, we said about the music element or bringing, as you created that. So you take away from that when you see this metal blue heron sitting on her tennis shoe. So just one artistic view. You all have yours too, but that's what I would suggest in my opinion.
Okay, so
That
that's-
the ultra, you can tell him Salvador Dali, look at his animals there, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Somehow it doesn't fit in with our historic view and what he describes as a familiar Eastern Shore setting, because no one's ever seen, as far as I know, a buck with a foxtail. A
Exactly.
big foxtail. Foxtails.
I was thinking maybe the fox was standing in front of the buck.
Well, then that should be more clear. That's enough, I've done good enough.
I don't know if that's gonna make that huge of a difference, because that buck is way at the back, and I understand the artistic expression of it. I just don't know if it belongs there. I mean,
That's why we're here.
I like the art as is, but I just am not sure if that's the right spot for it.
The mural's a great idea. The Eastern Shore, all of that is absolutely beautiful. It's just a utility-looking, commercial, utility-looking, unattractive, nothing historic about a building. But the key is we try to bring beauty to the historic district as well.
Maybe it's just too many elements. you know?
Your eye jumps all around, but
Yeah,
it is your
it's
eyes
all
jump.
over the place, so there's not one that's any better or worse than the other, but maybe it's just too many. But the colors are beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's not
really beautiful.
critiquing his style, that he's not good at what he's done there. It's just that that's, in my opinion.
What do you think, Carol?
I'm not criticizing this.
What,
What are you thinking?
I really like what Mary and Lisa are saying, if you could just take some of the Salvador Dali and the sky, the sun, that vibe. I would be okay with it. It's still not really historic, but where it's not a historic building and his
On Main
colors,
Street.
it would be beautiful. Why don't we just,
Cable.
just, oh, a minute.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
I'll make a motion that, for this, for case number, 10-1-25-29, that we will not make a decision this evening, we'll table the matter, and Ivy will speak with, the artist and the owner of the property.
I'm gonna have him actually watch this, so then he could hear directly
Oh, that would be great.
what you all are
Well,
saying,
that-
instead of.
I think that would be the very best thing for him to do, and, because it's very hard, artists are such creative people, and they paint from their soul. So it's not like you said, a house painter, you painted my living room the wrong color. It's a very personal thing, and none of us mean that here personally in any way. Again, to say, Evan, this is a historic district commission, and they have a charge, and the idea is to keep it, and, you know, whatever.
I think some suggestions, though, I mean, so you're
Well,
talking
Well, you
about
just said
the,
subtract, I think.
the
and
marsh-
nobody's criticizing.
I just, something tells me that he's not gonna wanna paint something that looks like a postcard either. Maybe there's
Well,
a.
because it's his work, it's his
So there's,
reputation.
maybe he can, maybe there's a compromise.
Is he getting
here.
paid for this?
Of course.
Well, I don't know,
There's a
people
compromise.
volunteer, I like to, one thing you get with age is wisdom, and I ask questions like that, so, if he is, and certainly, but, also artists, that's their whole life. I mean, if you've been people painting oils, they're constantly doing over, painting over, trying to, finally they go, yes, this is it. So I'm just saying, no, this isn't it for me today.
All right, well, I've got to admit, trying
Thank you,
to,
Carol.
we've got this motion, so that we'll table it. Ivy will, speak with the artist, some of our ideas, and, hopefully he'll be able to give us a new rendering to look at.
So, like with any artist, to have him keep coming back and saying, do you like this? No, I don't like this. Do you like this?
I
So
think we're
some
pretty
real
I think
world
we-
examples would be really wonderful that I could take back to him.
Well,
Well, I
this
think
was
we've
what we
given-
didn't like.
We've given you what we want,
Exactly.
you know, and honestly, if this was coming up, he or you or somebody should have called us to let us know ahead of time, so maybe we could have sat with him and given him some ideas. But, you know, we knew nothing about this till we got the packets. And like I said, we've been down this road before with several things some years ago.
I know.
All right, well, say, and going on Facebook and posting stuff and then coming and saying 90 people like it, that's one thing, but we do have an obligation.
Understand, I wanted to get a feel, I wanted to,
You got-
read the room.
You could have had a feel ahead of time, and we could have been here tonight and approved it. But I just can't, I'm sorry, but I just, this is my motion. Does somebody want to second
So we
it?
have a motion to table.
What if it was on the other side of the building?
No.
No, it wouldn't work. It's got
Yeah,
pillars
but-
there. It would not.
Yeah, and the car's parked there.
And it would fight with how
Oh,
lovely
yeah.
what's there now, which
Right.
is very,
I just was,
Yeah.
in my mind was that
Nothing wrong with
market
that.
thing, you know what I mean? That-
Yeah, and who knows how long that's gonna stay in that location.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, we have a motion to table, just because that, we can bring it back up at the next meeting. The motion to table, do we have a second to table?
I'll second.
We have a second to table, all in favor? Aye, any opposed? Okay, so, all right, we table it, which means you can come back. It doesn't delay this for a year. That's why
Right.
we table it, so we can keep the motion going. Maybe Evan can come in the next meeting, because.
Or he can call, like, he can
Yeah.
call Mary's the one that has the art background, you wouldn't mind speaking with
No,
him,
and I
would
would really think, and I'm sort of thought it would have been wonderful, since it's his creation, if he could have been here. And I think if criticism.
Well,
is hard as
I
it is, it's
take
hard to-
responsibility for that. I told him he did not have to be here.
Okay,
For
well,
it,
and
because
because
I
I don't
didn't know
like
it
to
was-
think that we're sitting up here, you know, this isn't what we want, but as I said, I would simply say, you know, it's historic district, and that was the main crux of it too, and the fact that, and I'm sure a bar, I have no problem putting 41, whatever it is, the restaurant over there, I would have no problem.
410
with that.
Social.
It's a more like a bar piece like that, rather than, I said, the part that where it says familiar Easter Shore setting,
And it's not.
those little animals sort of took me away.
It's close, it's good.
Yeah, we're good. I think we.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
Isaac.
again.
Okay, our next case, 408 South Main Street. Hi, guys.
Good evening.
Come on up and just for the
We're just worn
record.
out now, y'all have good hands.
For the record, your name and their address and then what you intend to do.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for hearing us this evening. My name is Brad Parks. I'm a professional engineer with Plitco Engineering, and I'm here with Deborah Cheney, the property owner at 408 South Main Street. And we're here tonight to request commission approval for the installation of a 4-foot high white picket fence around the perimeter of her property. Again, it's at 408 South Main, and the included in the packet is an example. Hopefully, it's from Home Depot, but hopefully that's okay in this case. It's the Glendale 4-foot by 8-foot white picket vinyl fence as the material. I'm not certain that you're sold on that particular
Right, that was
one,
an example of what.
but it's an example of what would be installed in a 4-foot high fence. The only alteration I'd like to.
Picket fence, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it's a picket fence. And there's a proposed gate that I show on the plan, sheet C100. She would also like to install a small gate just for lawn mowing, a push mower through
Right on the right side of
on
the
the
house.
right-hand side of the
Oh,
house.
I understand that. When I fenced in for my puppy, I had my lawn fella tell me how big I needed for a ride to get.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need that for sure, you know?
It's gonna be really nice with your 1920s era colonial style home. It's gonna make it even stand out and I think be more attractive. I know the reason people do the fork fences for privacy and all that, but in certain places like in Montgomery County neighborhoods, you can't have fences over so high. And when you see on Broad Street, where we have all these new great big, I'm not sure if the correct term is fork fence, it is to me, where they come up, then one part's white and one's tan and one's brown, and here's a historic home. They're not on the historic district on Broad Street. And it looks like, I'm like, what's going on over there? It's the most unusual, unattractive, beautiful home. And all of a sudden you have this stay out, keep out kind of look all the way around. And in a residential area, you would never see in a high-end, nice residential area that kind of a look. And so it's to me to see that you're going with the era and time of your home when it was built and picket fence at the turn of the century into that time. It's going to be very attractive and I have absolutely no problem with it.
Yeah, I like
Absolutely,
it too.
yeah.
And this is the same fence I'm putting at my daughter's house that's being built now, so
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Nice.
It's very charming.
I like it.
Very charming. Very
Yeah,
nice.
I think it's going to look really nice.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to accept case number 10-1-25-30 for the fencing as shown at 408 South Main Street with the 2 gates that are needed.
Okay, so a motion on the floor, and we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? Okay. Good to
Thank you
go.
very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
After having to sit there and listen to us carry on.
Everybody needs something easier.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, moving along, you guys. Public comment, do we have anyone here from the public?
Evan is on his way down.
Okay. All right, so
Go ahead, honey. That's it.
Can we talk about the orange trailer across the street, on South Main Street? I wanted to look at that tonight.
Yes, I need to wait while we're waiting.
Yeah.
That we won't be here forever.
Yeah. I went up the old rectory on South Main Street, which is next to, and I can never think of the man's name who was going to do the whole property over, and then it sort of stopped. The magnolia tree out front.
Oh, across.
So Evan's on his way up, we're giving him
All
a
right,
couple minutes.
good night, everyone.
Yeah, he's walking down, he's coming down.
I mean, here he has, it looks like an orange construction trailer, maybe that's his Pella Windows, although I can't imagine Pella Windows at our house, they didn't come with
That's the
that.
one that he will not.
And in front of that is either a camper or another kind of trailer, I wonder
Where
if
are you
that's
talking about
tagged.
The
The old house, South Main Street house at the corner.
Yeah,
foot of
so while
Washington
we're
Street.
waiting for Evan,
Okay.
let's see, do you guys have anything from the staff, any Evan's coming up right now, the artist,
Yeah,
so
that's
we
fine.
give him a couple minutes. But just to fill everything else out here, did you guys have any comments or anything? And commissioners, and the one thing, like you all were just talking about, Mr. Benito with it.
How do you pronounce his
I
name?
believe Benito.
Benito, yeah.
Benito.
Benito.
So
With a B.
Benito,
Benito,
with-
okay, sorry.
He has, it's been addressed that of a different color of his home. And what happened there was when he went to his painter, the painter says, look, I have this color paint. I could do it cheaper, I could do it tomorrow. Okay, and pretty much is what he's telling us. He's sorry for doing this. He didn't come back to us. He told the painter to do it. It saved him a bundle of money. What do we do in a situation like this? Do we go back now and we make him repaint it to white? Do we keep it this color, which is in historic
Well,
color?
we trade off time to get his orange trucks out of there, and you can keep it the color it is.
Well,
Do some negotiating.
It's an historic color,
Yeah.
and I pretty
Okay.
much had answered and spoken with a couple of commissioners that, being, if he would have come back to us with this color, being an historic color, 10 out of 10 would have approved it. So I don't see any need of making him repaint his house
Well, I don't have a
to
problem.
anything like that. It looks a lot better than it did. I appreciate him for doing the upgrade to his house and keeping it up. But I don't see any need of making him repaint his house, just to keep us posted on that. Ryan has sent me an email. He has been in, he's apologetic, he's sorry. But, like, you know, we don't want people like him to be afraid to come to us if they want to change something or do something.
I don't think
We're
Benito
here to work with
would be
it.
afraid of anything, Norty. I don't think that's in his personal style to be intimidated by anybody. Just my
you
personal
know, but
opinion.
just to go ahead and just to do it, but all it would have taken was a phone call, and Ryan would have emailed us, and we all would have said,
yes, go right ahead.
yes, go ahead and do it, Greg, we're good with that, more than likely.
Has he started the window replacement?
Mhm, that's done.
Okay, did he put in what we approved on that?
Yeah, all the top windows, all 10 windows. Yep.
Okay, but what we approved is what he put in, is my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this goes back to what we talked about when this came up 2 meetings ago, that there's no circle back to say the work's completed, it was completed in compliance with the direction from the commission, or in this case, this is how it happened. And is there documentation then in the file that shows the commission approved this and
As
this
to
is
be
what happened?
Greg,
But, yeah,
So
just to
because
close out
you
the
guys had
case.
brought this up before, I actually am going to start every month before these meetings, going to each case that was approved at the meetings before to follow up to make sure that the work is done, that it was done as you guys approved it, and to make sure that they did get the proper permits.
What about the trailer? 'Cause if the work's done, he's not moved that trailer.
I just rode up there tonight, that's what I was saying, it's, well, for Halloween, it is orange, it's this great red orange trailer. It looks like you could put the people that go to car shows, it looks
Yeah,
like it would hold a couple of cars.
See, we made him move it in the back years ago. And then when sometime he moved it back and put it like right along the road and back of the shrubberies.
Mhm.
But see now, fall's coming, the leaves are gonna come down, so then people could see it. But now it's in the driveway.
Well, it's right on what I call, I don't know who the gentleman is that just bought the property, it was Episcopal Church Rectory where the minister lived, right directly to the right of the house. So I rode up his driveway, and since no one was home, didn't want to go up and run into Mr. Benito and think I was up there challenging about something. I just wanted to look at it closely and see it wasn't what I thought it was. And then when I got up there, I thought, my gosh, there's another trailer behind that one. And I don't really, it's been a while since I've looked at, Nordy, what is the thing about how many old cars you can keep in your driveway or how many trailers you can keep there? I know they have to be tagged. I remember that was years ago on Broad Street. If they're not tagged, then they're out of there.
It's not just on any street, it's throughout the town.
Right, correct. So I was just curious.
I don't think there's an actual, the code does not say the number.
Okay.
You cannot park in the front yard at all. And then all vehicles do have to have proper tags and operable.
Well, if you get back the minutes, the meeting, when he said, when the work was done, that trailer would be moved.
I do, he did say
Because
that.
we were very concerned about that when he was coming to get the
Well,
approval for
It's
the
just
window.
asking her to.
Well,
Is
That's
it
what
like a construction trailer or what kind of trailer?
It looks like, I don't know how, because I'm not good with vehicles, but it looks like when you see people go to car shows, and they have this huge thing, it might have 2 Corvettes in behind it. I mean, 2.
An enclosed
It's
trailer.
not just
Like
like,
a
almost like an
enclosed-
18-wheeler. I mean, it's not like.
It's been there since he bought the house, okay, and it was in the back.
Was it always orange?
But
Yeah.
I read by the other day to see if he moved
Yeah,
it.
and it's right there on the driveway with the people home next door. It's right, well, you're very obvious. I don't beat that up either. It's just, I was curious how that was.
Maybe if you contact him again, just ask
Yeah.
if he can bring that trailer.
Yeah.
But
No,
Now-
you're asking it,
Tell
can you tell him it's time for it to be moved?
You guys were.
Now, he can have the trailer as long as it's properly tagged and not in the front yard.
So I guess that's, you would say the front yard being South Main Street, it's in his side yard facing South Main Street, I guess.
As long
So
as
maybe
it's
that's a
behind,
technicality.
like, there's an invisible line where the front of the house is,
Mhm.
so it goes across. As long as
Okay.
it's behind that front
Well,
setback,
Yes, he can keep it there.
as long as the tags are current, you can have that.
Well, I'd be curious, so is that your responsibility, Kate? Do you have to go and look and,
It's code enforcement.
okay, and right behind that is another vehicle, and I didn't get out of my car, but it looked like I had writing on it or something. It looks like sort of like a mini camper trailer or some sort of another vehicle
Okay.
that's they're right there together.
Right behind it.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
like rear, in the rear yard?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just curious if they're tagged too properly. but-
Okay. We
Okay.
can definitely look into it.
Okay, good, all right, well,
Come on
right
up,
there on
Mike.
my agenda.
All right, here you go, Barry. So,
May I approach the bench?
Hi.
Owners?
how are you doing?
How we doing?
Commissioners. All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself if you know something.
My name is Evan Fitzgerald. I'm a local artist here in town. I grew up here, raising my kids here in town as well, and I was present for the entirety of the meeting, so I've heard all of the critiques and the concerns about the mural. So I'm just coming down, I guess, not to defend myself, but I guess to explain some things a little bit further, so it might help you better make a decision earlier on out.
I wish you, as I said originally, Ivy, I wish you could have been there and what your vision was and what you did, and, you know, and as I said, you're a very talented artist, and none of that was met, and I hope you do, I do know it's personal, well, it's personal because you created it, so of course I get that, but we were just giving our personal opinion as sitting on the Historic District Commission what our charge is.
Absolutely. No
So now
explanation
let-
necessary
please.
as far as
Yeah.
people can love it or hate it. It's fully subjective what you feel about it. So it's almost irrelevant what any individual will think about one thing because everyone's have a different read about it depending on where they come from in life. But so this is just a Photoshop image that I made in about an hour, as I've not gotten any money yet. So this is just a bunch of pictures that have been collaged together to represent what I can do, which is predominantly all of my images start off like this. This is a rough sketch on a computer, and then I paint from there. So this would pretty much be 90% indicative of what I would paint on that wall, but I would make alterations as I go along, what might fit, what may or may not look better. Some scale may be adjusted, but it's a good representation of what the feel of the space. And also, looking at it on a screen is difficult as well, because the first image, which I think you had shown which was the Facebook post, which was Mike and I standing in front of it, like a 3/4 view, forced perspective. And then the image that I had taken and then superposed this on top of it was the same angle. So it kind of gives you an idea of what it would look like. But as you move, it's going to change. So this is probably the worst way to look at it. No one's ever going to see it like this, dead on.
Wait, I gotta stop
From
right
this
there.
distance.
I gotta say something. This is something you presented to us, but no one will ever see it like this, meaning what we're looking at today.
I presented it to you in 3 or 4 different perspectives of options.
Well,
This
that
is
wasn't
just the
explained
most-
to there at
This
all.
is just the most, well, that's just how something exists in this space, and you would move past it, so your perspective would shift, and the image would shift as well. But that's not really important defense of this. I'm just saying, the way we're looking at it right now, you couldn't possibly stand that far away from the building, but I had presented it to try to give you the clearest representation of what the design looks like, and then also change the perspective of it to film the wall as if it was already painted, which is the best way to sketch it in an hour to see if the mural's going to go through in the long run. But so yes, it's a local scene with local animals, which is typically what I do, but also the weird part of it, or the odd part, or also the beautiful part of it is it's animals choosing to adorn themselves with other natural elements, just the way we all have in every part of the world. Someone has to show their importance, has put on a headdress, or put flowers on to make themselves look more beautiful for whatever scenario. So my work is kind of, what if animals did the same thing? So all it is enhancing beauty with more natural beauty to then project whatever persona that person might want to do. Like I was sitting in my house in shorts, hanging with my kids, cooking dinner. I said, oh, I gotta run down here and defend this. So I put on a collar shirt, pants, so I look presentable for this situation, which is something I needed to project. I couldn't come in here in sweatpants, you know what I mean?
Yes, you could have. I didn't care.
So that's all I think about when I make that work, but that's also what I'm thinking about. So anybody can come and look at that and have their own interpretation. And that's fine with me, and I love that about it, because everybody has their own experiences in life. So nobody experiences a painting the same way. So it can be interpreted in multiple different ways, but this is just local scenes of the area, and it's also, I felt it was a little bit safe for me, because I do some more off-the-wall stuff, but also it's important to me that it shows that I was the one that did it too, not that I'm looking for, it's not all about me, like I said, I'm part of the community. I want people to find beauty in it. When I first pitched it, I was like, I want people to say, hey, that's nice. I want them to walk across the street. What's going on over there? Like, be drawn to the image, take pictures in front of it. You know, it could still say, I was actually expecting this in the meeting, to say, hey, Town of Berlin, photo op, whatever, because you have a lot of people coming to town and walking around, and it's just another way to draw people into a certain direction. So that's my defense of it, but certainly I can alter some things, but I can't edit every part of myself out of it, and
No, I don't think we want
still
to
feel
do
good
that.
doing it. So I'm willing to work with you guys on that, but as far as one specific critique of it or the other, it's almost, I know all that matters is you guys are here for the historic part of it, so that's what you're trying to defend and protect, which I get, and so if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, but that's
You know
just-
what I'm listening to, and I hope this is an all right time to interject, is
Sure.
you've just given us a short insight when you were given the charge by Ivy to create this, or if I've seen it, how you started envisioning it. But we, as strangers to your mind, you know, when you were talking about that you know, that was the garland of roses around, could have been around the deer's head or around a fox's head. I know where you were, you know, where you're going with that. I hope you understand that when we came here tonight, I was expecting, this is what he's created. You all had a prototype somewhere that you took a picture of, and are you all fine with us putting this up? But really what you're telling me is not really exactly how your wording was. I would think that this is what I'm thinking of, this is where we're going, and we have to have, like, when people come to add on their garage, we have to look at the siding, we have to look at the shutters, we have to look at, it isn't up here, it's got to be, this is going to be what we're voting on, that we get it. And I certainly wasn't besmirching her. Anyway, your gift or talent as an artist.
No,
And
I
I
didn't
do
feel that.
understand.
I didn't feel that at all. but
Because we
I-
creative people, our minds are racing all the time.
No, totally. I was not hurt at all. That is what it is. Everyone can feel the way they feel about it. But to clarify, that's what I presented as what I can do, and I would do that photograph, but better, guaranteed. But if
So then you would come
tweak
back to
something a
us.
little bit, I could tweak things a little bit, but I can't fully remove all the headdresses out of it. Then it's just.
Well, you
a
understand what I'm
nature
saying?
scene.
We're asking to see, what is this finished product that we're going to vote on going to look like? And right now, I'm hearing that I haven't quite decided exactly. Am I misunderstanding? or-
I decided that would be great, and I wanted to see what you guys thought, and if it didn't
So
pass,
this
it
is your
didn't pass.
final, this is my first choice. This is what I'm going to go back to my studio and get everything together and create this. Am I understanding that correctly? I just don't like misunderstanding.
No, I was asked to make a design for the wall to
Mhm.
put in front of you all, and I did this, I think, a month and a half ago, and that's what I came up with. And if you liked it, I was gonna dive right in and do it, kind of
Mhm.
line for line.
So to your point that no one would ever see it head-on like this simply because of the space, but if you look at it, like there's this view,
People would see
and
that.
actually, in that view, the bird and the woman seem to just loom super large. When you're
Yes.
looking at it head-on, it's like they're big, but they really jump out when you look at it from the street
Yes,
side.
and that is also photoshopping to try to make it look like it fits on the space, as far as I can do it, but also that's intentional. Play with scale and make something more grandiose and large. Think of the Parthenon, gigantic sculptures, and something, there's a power that's involved with that. If you go into Fortune Social, which it sounds like no one up here has, there's a gigantic hill on the
I've
wall
seen it.
that's just, it's something you
It's
can,
incredible.
once you look at, not that there's anything special about it, but it's just to play with scale that does something to us. And so if you see a gigantic human, you go, what's going on over there? And she's playing music, and all the other animals are also flocking to her and seeing what's going on over here, which was kind of what Mike had wanted on the wall, something to harken back to his family and his history and musical art. So I tried to play along with that.
Mhm,
Just-
yeah.
Well, I mean, I like the scene of the marsh. I'd like.
I think we all like that part, there's no question at all.
Up there, and to maybe just tweaking in the way, obviously, there's not a unanimous decision here that they're looking at this, we're gonna vote on this, and they're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna vote on it. But I think that there's some tweaking that can be done, to this that we can get a unanimous decision. I mean, there's something's not catching the eye. I don't think, I think the sense of a mural is fine with putting a mural up, but there's something here.
I was joking so much, and I'm not saying that, when I first thought, and probably you heard me say when I said Salvador Dali, before his time in the 30s, 40s, he was so out there that the people that sponsored him, and, they weren't going to let him in the National Gallery because he hadn't died. In the day, you had to die first before you ever got in there. And I can remember when I saw this, that's what first came to my mind, that surrealistic and the creativity, and you're a very gifted artist, and absolutely, for sure on that, as I said. And the thing that at first I thought, because I'm not an animal person, I said, is that a deer? Is that a dog? And you told me it's a foxtail. That what happens when my eye jumps on something, I lose the vision. I mean, it's not like it's a triptych where you're looking at this, you're looking at this, you're looking at that. In a way, it's sort of like that, where I would love to see it be more unified, would be my word. That I'm not anything other than if there's going to be a little deer / buck, fox, whatever, and a blue hare and all those things.
What is the significance of the fox deer? Is it?
Because they run in the marsh.
Fox, they're beautiful. There's a lot of them.
No, what I mean with the horns on the,
No, it's
So it's the same
interpretation.
brainstorm.
No, it's simply if animals thought the way we do and wanted to project some sort of status, like a chief in Native Americans wear a giant headdress, or somewhere in the Philippine Islands there would be lots of floral decorations of flowers from beautiful birds to say, hey, I'm the fertility type of thing, to project attraction. So if
Make that
animals
dress
would
up.
then do what we do, what would they be doing? So they'd be putting more beautiful things on, what I should have done, which this is what I thought was for Ivy and Mike. I didn't know, she was like, let's go, push it. So I would have put more examples of my work in there so you can see. I have several other foxes I painted with different headdresses, and it's like, I mean, I'm not proud, what I do is kind of, I'm not really proud of what I do. It's like, it's a bunch of beautiful things put together. Of course it's beautiful, but it's like several beautiful, so I had fun kind of making these bouquets of animals, different elements, flowers, feathers. So it's just,
You know what's
it's a
interesting?
collaboration of, what?
When you're in the museum, wherever, when you're watching it and you get the headset and you hear what the artist was creating, That's what I think would miss on most lay people. Most people wouldn't pick up on those nuances and that creativity. Oh, okay, yeah, and then they start relating to it when you're going through a gallery and you're looking, you know where I'm going with this, that, because what you're saying to us now, it never dawned on me to even consider any of that. I just thought, well, that's different, whatever. But when you're speaking, as I said, when you have the advantage of being in a gallery setting and you can hear what you're talking about, it makes it so much more real, I guess. I don't know, that's not
I
the right
thought
word.
that too. It helps to know what your thought process was. Why did you put this here? Why did you do this instead of us
It's a
just-
funny
it's so
time to
unusual.
walk in the art world, like,
Yeah.
for some people that helps, for some people, it'll be like, oh, I don't like that idea, so no, I really don't like the thing, so it's like.
Once you're in the
it's a
artist's
hard thing
mind
to
and he's
balance.
saying what he was thinking, when you're talking, all I can think is what a creative mind. I mean, you're, when they say an artist is out there, you don't look and say, oh, deers have antlers and their tail looks like this, and the hooves look like this. You have all that creativity, which is what you brought to your painting. And I understand that, but I think in the bigger picture, we're here to help you out, understand art. You're right, no, we're not. The blue heron really does bother me other than that. And I love blue herons and I think there's a place for them, but it almost looks like it's fake in your painting like that. That's what I think disturbs me, that the scene is so real and all of a sudden you have this mixed breed, mixed bred deer / buck, whatever, and then a blue heron that is like it's a molded metal sculpture. And the birds flying and it's beautiful and that. So it's sort of a yin yang for me, I guess.
Which could be a deterrent for some, but also could attract others, so it's, that's just what art is, sometimes it works.
Oh,
sometimes it
I
doesn't.
know what art is.
So, I fully understand the critiques, and I take zero, offense to anything. I understand it is what it is. So, I will, if you guys decide, I would be happy to tweak it and show you other examples of my work and to a level that I'm comfortable with, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing this for whatever Maryland's writing a check for. It's part of my town. I grew up here. I want to make the space beautiful, so that my kids can be proud of when they see, and just enhance the street. And if you paint it over in a year, I wouldn't really care. I would, it would be a bummer, obviously. But I think it's like
I don't
the
think
secrets.
that
That's not gonna happen.
There's
think that was-
also, I think the secrets when I was 18, there's probably 20% of it's left over. It's just everywhere I've painted, it's just, that's what it is. But,
Am I hearing you saying this would be my final one? Because this is what we have to do, is see something you're saying.
no,
this is-
I'll recreate something
Oh,
else that I
okay.
feel like fits a little more with some of the critiques happening in this room, but it's still gonna feel
Well, it's gotta be your
comfortable
art.
to me. So if at that point you're still not feeling it, then that's just where it's gonna end. But
Okay.
I'll make another
Well,
attempt.
so-
And I encourage you to please go into 410 Social and look at the walls.
Oh, I have, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
That's
and you-
good song.
Well,
That's
I don't
good
know.
song.
and Ira, that can be emailed to us.
Great.
If he gets that right.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Evan, thank you for coming up.
Sure.
And I think that really
Well, I
does help.
appreciate
Yes.
that, because honestly, as I said, when someone comes here and says, this is it, and we're looking at everything and say, okay, this is the quality of the wood, this is what they're talking about, right after you, a gal with her picket fence, what it was going to be and all the specifics about it. And so that's where I realized when you spoke, I knew what I was seeing, and I knew that I think it would flow there, and I think it's good. You're really, as I said, a very gifted artist.
I appreciate
Sure.
that.
No, I mean that, very gifted.
Well, I'll do my best second time around, and I'll give you some more
Yeah,
more examples.
You don't
of
need
the,
to be a Hallmark gift card. No, I mean, that is your
Yeah, I won't do
thing.
that.
No, I know that, I know that's not your thing for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me out. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you for coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ivy, for.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else that I need to bring up or anything. We went through everything else. We talked about Mr. Benito and anything else? Lisa, Carol, anything?
Well, I guess we're good with, if they can start on the bank soon, if we know when they're going to start painting, or, I call it the bank, the Peninsula Bank,
The
Exchange and Savings Bank.
The gold part has been done.
Oh,
And then so some of the, they still got some more painting to do. I don't think they're fine.
Oh, okay, I need to walk in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
walk.
driving and too much
Is that a
traffic.
motion for adjournment?
Yes, second, third.
Second. All right, all in favor?
Okay.
Adjourned. Sure, yeah, Mary, walk out there and look at it.
Well, I want to say one thing. Left is a mural on a bar wall. In no way was